Hi James, great to have you here.
Clara, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Why do power electronics projects feel so complex today?
I think it's because the bar keeps getting raised. People are looking for more efficient systems, people are looking for higher energy density systems, and the development cycles are getting faster and faster.
Given these challenges, where does Semikron Danfoss come in?
Well, Semikron Danfoss, we aspire to be people's engineering partner of choice. We're fortunate that we've spent many years integrating chips into modules and integrating modules into stacks. And this gives us a unique advantage to add value, particularly to silicon carbide systems, which are far more complex than IGBT systems.
This approach leads directly to your stack concept. What exactly is a power electronics stack?
Power electronic stack, in simple terms, it's like a VFD or an inverter without a control card. So it's essentially the customer's interface finishes at the gate driver board, so he then brings his control into that.
So why are OEMs increasingly choosing stacks instead of building in-house?
I think it's two things really. It's about managing risk. It's about managing commercial risk, and it's about managing technical risk. Let's talk technically first. People need to deliver projects on time, and particularly with things like silicon carbide, this is a new technology that's not particularly mature at the moment, particularly systems that are designed for 1500 volts. What that means is when engineers run into issues, then these timelines get threatened. So for instance, one of the things that people are experiencing with silicon carbide is issues with EMI, so electrical noise, that in previous IGBT-based systems wasn't a topic, but now it's absolutely a topic for silicon carbide systems, and therefore you need better control of the gate drivers. And that's why people are talking to us at Semikron Danfoss, because this is an area where this is our experience. We've got the module experience, we've got the stack experience. We build gate drivers ourselves, so we can control all of these things and we can take that technical risk out for them. So that's on the technical side. So if we now think about the commercial risk, then essentially when you've got new platforms that are running up in emerging markets, it's not clear how the volumes are going to develop. So what's nice about leveraging a stack is that you minimize the engineering fixed costs and you minimize the investment risk. But almost the most important thing is that you accelerate time to market by as many as 2 to 3 years if we're talking about silicon carbide solutions based on our stacks.
So how does this approach support silicon carbide adoption?
Silicon carbide is, particularly when we're thinking about at the 2 kV level, is quite an immature technology compared to IGBTs. So IGBTs right now we're in the 8th generation, and let's imagine that the 1st and 2nd generations were like wild horses. Now you've got these horses that are perfectly in tune with each other. It's an easy problem to control for engineers. They're used to working with IGBTs. Now you start to implement silicon carbide, and it's a completely new set of challenges. We already talked about the topic in terms of noise, but the other topic as well is that of being able to control it properly so that it can protect it, so that the silicon carbide modules can be turned off before they destroy themselves in the event of a short circuit. And so all of these problems add up to the nightmares for engineers doing this themselves. What they can do though is essentially leverage our knowledge from the past to do that.
And what's the customer's benefit from a chip to system expertise?
Semikron Danfoss has spent the last 30 years plus putting third-party IGBT chips into power modules. This skill we've transferred to silicon carbide now. The point is that Semikron Danfoss has focused for the last 30 years on how you do bonding and joining of third-party chips in a module. So we've got that skill which allows us to get the most out of the silicon carbide chips, but then we know how to apply that at a module level so that we can get the most out of a stack. And like I said, those problems, we've been through those loops a lot in the last 10 years in the stacks and also the commercial vehicle applications that we've worked on.
What is it that customers need that we specifically as Semikron Danfoss can support with?
I think people can leverage our technical expertise. People can leverage our global footprint. We obviously we're located in Germany, but we have a global footprint. If a customer wants to work with us to design a product in Europe, it can be designed in Europe, but there's no reason why it can't be manufactured in the USA, manufactured in Europe, or manufactured in Asia.
To wrap things up, I have one closing thought. Why choose Semikron Danfoss?
Quite simply, Semikron Danfoss is the fastest path to world-class power electronics.
Thank you, James, for this insight.
Thanks for having me.